Greetings, you fellow legacy leaders. Have you ever been on a Zoom meeting where everyone's cameras are off and the mics are muted, and you start wondering, is this thing on? Right? That's what it feels like when leaders go quiet. Silence from the top doesn't sound like peace normally. It sounds like uncertainty, generally. And uncertainty, from my experience, my friends, is the fastest way to stop momentum in its tracks, especially when you have some. Whether it's our little weekly video messages, TGIMs, TGIXs, or any regular communication rhythm, be it a bamboo memo or a team's quote of the day, these moments of opportunity exist for a reason. They're not about filling inboxes. They're about filling hearts and aligning minds. When we, or your own team of co leaders, if you're not part of Team Miracle or Team Perka, as a leadership circle, speak in unison, we create confidence. When we stay silent, even with the best of intentions, the tribe starts guessing. And people don't fill silence with optimism most of the time, very few. They fill it with worry. Remember, we've talked about this before. It's kind of like being in a band where half the players stop mid song. The trumpets freeze, the drummers wander off for coffee, and the rest are left wondering if we're still in the same tune or even in the same parade. So if you're thinking, I'll just stay quiet this round, remember, silence has volume. And unfortunately, it's usually off key. Jim Collins, the author of Good to Great, says a culture of discipline is not a principle of business, it's a principle of greatness. That includes disciplined communication. Oh, is there another acronym about communication coming? We got DWC, TACHOC, CCC. How about CDC? Yeah. Collaborative disciplined communication. Ooh, that's a new one. Simon Sinek reminds us when people are financially invested, they want a return. And when they're emotionally invested, they want to contribute. So consistent, timely, collaborative, disciplined communication keeps that emotional investment alive and available. One of my favorite leadership truths is nature abhors a vacuum for many reasons. Sometimes it's a good to have it a vacuum because things will come in to refill it, right? But also, if leadership doesn't fill a certain long space of vacuum or silence with unknowings, with and replacing it with clarity, then confusion will almost every single time. So maybe it's time to ask, why do some of us hold back from time to time? Is it because we're busy? Or we have fatigue? Or we're fear of saying the wrong thing? Or maybe it's because this doesn't always make the top of your to-do list. But remember this, leadership and communication is part of a to-be list. And being will always trump doing. So if you have a to-do list and you have a to-be list, that to-be list should be first on top of your entire to-do list in most cases. Or maybe it's the quiet hope that someone else will jump in first. We've all heard that before, right? But as leaders, you're the ones who need to model and repeat it anyway. So, whatever the reason, when one leader speaks in a group of leaders, a spark starts. And then, when two or more speak together in harmony with congruence and CDC, right? It lights a torch that guides the whole tribe. You remember that video from a few years back about the lone nut and the second follower who actually initiates the creation of the movement? Yeah, that's us, the movement. Like when Robert echoes our own TGI Monday message almost every week, it behooves us as co leaders, and whether you're an actual designated co leader or not, to echo him, to help keep the movement alive. That is frontline obsession that we're talking about. And yes, obsession means all in. It's an obsession. It's not just being responsive to clients, it's being responsive to each other, with each other. If one of us goes quiet, sure, the others can step in. But our real strength will come when everyone adds their own voice, even in small ways, towards the synergetic leadership chorus. Synergetic, not synergistic, right? That's energy of synergy. So here's our challenge this week, especially as legacy leaders. We're not just one and done leaders, right? When we have the next TGIM, TGIX, quote of the day, or any statement that is provided in a leadership form or for purpose, pause and ask yourself, how can I amplify this message? How can I help lift it? How can I help lift the listeners of it? Can I add a thought, a story, a short note of encouragement? It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be a lot, as long as it's genuine and timely and united. Because every aligned message becomes a drumbeat for trust. Remember that? Trust. That's a must have ingredient in our little recipe here. And the best, more effective leadership is a relay race. It's not a solo sprint. Because if we drop the baton of communication, even for a week, momentum slows. And if we drop it for 2 weeks, it snowballs in getting ever slower. But when we stay in step, on message, in rhythm, in heart, with heart, we build something unstoppable, something quantum, something beautiful. So let's turn up the volume together. Because when leaders speak in harmony, the whole tribe sings in a chorus. That's the opportunity. That's the chance. Oh, yes. And remember, the real legacy is you.